Hi, and welcome to the Executive Interview Series. Today, we have the pleasure of having with us Bodo Mann, the CEO and Managing Director of Auticon Australia and New Zealand. Auticon is on a mission to create a more inclusive world by providing high-quality technology, careers to autistic adults, and promoting neurodiversity in the workplace. Bodo, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks very much for having me.
Amazing. Now, to kick things off, could you provide us with a brief overview of Auticon's business model and the social impact you are looking to achieve?
Happy to, absolutely. So Auticon globally is a social impact company. We're fortunate to have a group of interesting shareholders, among others, Sir Richard Branson, the Porsche Family Trust. And really our core mission has been for the last 12 years to provide meaningful employment for people on the spectrum. And that has been a success since 2011 in fact. And I have the pleasure of leading the team in Australia and New Zealand. But we're in 15 countries globally.
Amazing. That's brilliant. And thank you for giving us those insights. Now, Auticon's approach to integrating autistic professionals into client organizations is truly unique. So for my next question, it would be great if you could share with us any success stories or tangible outcomes that demonstrate the advantages of this approach over the traditional recruitment processes that we have seen.
I mean, that's a deep question. So how much time do we have? Look, if you look at the stats, the unemployment rate of people on the spectrum, so people with autism, is 34%. That is 10 times the national average. That is 3 times as much than any other disability. Yeah. Despite their unique skills and capabilities, that is basically a very sad situation, which we've been trying to rectify and improve all around the world. If you look at the underemployment rate, that's actually nearly 90%. So those individuals who are lucky and have an activity, have a work, they are way below what they actually could do. So the unique skill set is manifold. I mean, it's basically the ability to concentrate over a long period of time. It is the unique ability for pattern recognition. It is the ability to think out of the box and think lateral. And if you look at the holy grail of corporate success, it's very much around innovation. And how do you achieve innovation? It's basically forming a team of individuals who can think differently, think lateral. And so by definition, people on the spectrum do think differently than any neurotypical person. So the absence of some of the social skills which go along is a challenge for a lot of our colleagues who are on the spectrum, and their experience in the past has been horrific. I mean, it's ranging from bullying, has been non-acceptance. A lot of our colleagues basically have been suffering from anxiety because of unemployment, the financial uncertainty which comes with that. So suddenly, after many years of very horrific experiences, they come to, let's call it the Auticon family. Where they have a meaningful job, they're appreciated, they're recognized. And while a lot of those coexisting conditions don't disappear overnight, they effectively can be reduced to a large extent. And if you overlay basically our unique 360 support model, which we have, so we basically put job coaches around our consultants, so looking after their mental well-being. But we also have, like, in form of our technical director who provides some technical coaching. So that's why I'm referring to the 360 support model. And that allows us basically to give adequate support. And the benefit is basically, obviously, mental well-being for our consultant, as well as the tangible outcome and some productivity for our clients and long-term partners.
Absolutely. That's very inspiring, actually, Bodo. Thank you for sharing this with us. Now, the IT industry is highly competitive, and Auticon actually offers an array of high-value services. So can you tell us how is the company actually positioned to capitalize on the increasing demand for IT services that we are seeing, and what sets Auticon apart in the market?
It's a good question. So the fact that we have obviously a skill gap in many IT sectors or areas did help us to pop up on the radar screen as an alternative source for talent. So that's great. We tend to work in 4 verticals where basically most of our consultants are working. So software engineering is certainly one area. Software testing or quality assurance will be a second one. Data analytics is growing exponentially. And more recently, we started investing in the cybersecurity disability space. So most of our consultants tend to work in those 4 verticals. Now, having said that, there are areas such as blockchain or AI, which are fascinating areas, and it depends a little bit on the passion and the skill set of the one or the other consultant. We would love to expand in these areas, but for the time being, those 4 verticals are basically our bread and butter. Now, over and above these, we call it time and material and long-term contracting arrangements we have, because all of these consultants are on our payroll. So we're not a recruitment company and we're not a charity either, just worthwhile mentioning. But we also started investing in what's called neuro-inclusion services, which is basically an end-to-end training and transformation capabilities where we help clients to move along the learning curve and the journey of becoming more neuro-inclusive. So starting with a diagnostic tool, with some tailored training and helping the organization basically to become more mature in the neuro-inclusion services space. And so therefore, those key areas are certainly still of relevance, but we would love to expand further into other areas where we can place our highly exceptional consultants.
Absolutely. And I can see that what makes Auticon different from all the other businesses in the market. Now, I would like to congratulate you on the recent merger with Eunice, creating the largest autistic majority corporation in the world. It's a great achievement. So can you tell us, how does this deal actually position Auticon for the future growth, and what impact does it have on advancing the mission of neurodiversity?
That's right. So we're very fortunate and very happy in terms of achieving that merger. It was, a natural fit in terms of, let's call it a sister company who looked after the Nordic, the Scandinavian countries. So effectively, we added Finland, Norway, Sweden, as well as the Netherlands to our existing group of companies. So we're in fact actually now in 15 countries, because we just opened Poland as well. So the question is, like, how does it help us? So we certainly enriched and strengthened our already strong group of shareholders, which is certainly helpful in terms of securing the financial future. It does help us as well, while the center of gravity is certainly in Europe in terms of where most of the countries and the markets are. It also helps us here in Australia and New Zealand, because we can learn from some of the experience, particularly our Nordic colleagues, learned over the last few years. So we're in active dialogue in terms of sharing best practices when it comes to the coaching model or how to approach clients, etc. So that's certainly very helpful, and it gives us, third argument would be, it gives us some additional credibility in the market in terms of clearly being now the biggest neurodiverse company, IT company in the world. And it gives us additional credibility in terms of with clients, existing as well as new clients. So.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Now, we talked about global expansion, and with operations in over 14 countries and for plans for future growth, could you share your insights on the regions or the markets that you see most promising for Auticon's future?
So I started 3 years ago in terms of building Australia, then we opened New Zealand, and my mandate is basically to grow into Asia Pacific. So we're certainly looking right now at 2 new countries in the Asia Pacific region, as well as the Middle East. And if the stars align, I would expect that by the end of this year, we certainly would have entered 1 other country, certainly by the mid of next year, I would say. And the other big milestone in terms of, we want to, by the end of this year, do another capital raise, which is a global capital raise, but of 15 million euros, of which 3 million, the expectation is coming out of the region here, with the intention of basically fueling and financing the APAC expansion.
Absolutely. Now, as a parting question, Bodo, you've touched upon it slightly, but it would be great if you could share your vision for the company in the coming months. So one of the milestones you share with us, but anything else you would like to add that investors should be looking forward to?
I think it's a unique proposition, and if anyone is interested in social impact investing, we would love to talk to those institutions or funds or individuals. I think autism, we feel, is the next frontier in terms of the D&I space, or if you look at the ESG space, the wave, we certainly ride the S in terms of the social focus. And we feel, well, Australia came a long way in terms of the gender diversity or LGBTIQ. We feel that the neurodiverse D&I intention is certainly the next wave, next frontier in terms of D&I. So we would love to talk to anyone who has a passion and interest. Those individuals would join a fascinating group of existing shareholders. Ability to rub shoulder with Sir Richard Branson or the Porsche family is unique, and we believe we have a bright future, and there's much more we can do in terms of helping our autistic colleagues and friends.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Bodo, for sharing these wonderful insights about the brilliant work that you and your company are doing. For anyone who would like to get in touch with the team at Auticon, please see the details at the side of your screen or in the description of this video, and stay tuned for more engaging interviews with the CEOs at the different companies. And thank you again, Bodo, for coming in, and we wish you all the luck with your venture.
Thanks very much for having us. Much appreciated.
Thank you.